At our open hearing on Monday, I encouraged anyone who has information about relative topics, including surveillance on President-elect Trump or his transition team, to come forward and speak to the House Intelligence Committee. I also said that while there was not a physical wiretap of Trump Tower, I was concerned that other surveillance activities were used against President Trump and his associates. So first, I recently confirmed that on numerous occasions, the intelligence community incidentally collected information about U.S. citizens involved in the Trump transition. Details about U.S. persons associated with the incoming administration, details with little or no apparent foreign intelligence value, were widely disseminated in intelligence community reporting. Third, I have confirmed that additional names of Trump transition team members were unmasked. And fourth and finally, I want to be clear, none of this surveillance was related to Russia or the investigation of Russian activities or of the Trump team. The House Intelligence Committee will thoroughly investigate surveillance and its subsequent dissemination to determine a few things here that I want to read off. Who was aware of it? Why it was not disclosed to Congress? Who requested and authorized the additional unmasking? Whether anyone directed the intelligence community to focus on Trump associates, and whether any laws, regulations, or procedures were violated. I've asked the directors of FBI, NSA, and CIA to expeditiously comply with my March 15th letter that you all received a couple weeks ago, and to provide a full account of these surveillance activities. I informed Speaker Ryan this morning of this new information, and I will be going to the White House this afternoon to share what I know with the President and his team. Before I get to questions, I want to say that, as you know, there's just been what appears to be a terrorist attack in the United Kingdom. Obviously very concerned, and our thoughts and prayers go out to our strong friends and allies over across the pond. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Mr. Nunes, was any of this these communications, were they any picked up at Trump Tower?
We don't know that yet. That's why we need to get the information. I will say this. The NSA has been very, very helpful. They know how important these programs are. They are in constant communication with our team. And as you know, they partially complied with our request last week. And I expect them to hopefully get us more information by Friday. And I have spoke to Admiral Rogers about these concerns, and he wants to comply as quickly as he can.
And was the President also part of that incidental collection, his communications?
Yes.
They were?
Yes.
So wait, excuse me, let me just clarify. The President of the United States' personal communications were intercepted as an
No, I think we have to, I think what we have to, it's very, when we talk about intelligence products here, we got to be very careful. From what I know right now, it looks like incidental collection. We don't know exactly how that was picked up, but we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
So the President of the United States' personal communications were collected in incidental collection, not in specific targeted collection.
It's possible. We won't know until we get the information on Friday, and that's why. Look, I think the NSA is going to comply. I am concerned. Yet we don't know whether or not the FBI is going to comply. And I've placed a call. I'm waiting to hopefully talk to Director Comey later today.
But Mrs. Travis, can you
Are
just
you
clarify?
concerned that
Yes.
Hold on. Let me go over here.
Are you concerned that any of the surveillance was done illegally, or it was incidental but a legal?
That's a
warrant?
that's a really good question. So I believe it was all done legally. I think it was all obtained legally. I think the question is was it masked? Why was it if it was unmasked? Because it appears like we have new information about additional unmaskings. And then who was on the dissemination list, and why was the dissemination list so far if it was such specific information about the Trump transition? And it appears, and just to give you one piece of information I think might be helpful, it appears most of this occurred, from what I've seen, in November, December, and January. So that should probably, during the transition, that's correct.
But sir, I'm sorry, can you please clarify, because you said that the president's communications were incidentally collected, but then you said it's also possible. So was it collected or is it possible that it's collected?
I just don't know the answer to that yet.
So we don't know if the president's communications
I know,
were
look,
incidental.
I know there was incidental collection regarding the president-elect and his team. I don't know if it was actually physically a phone call.
You don't know if it was the president himself, his communications.
I do not know that.
Mr. Chairman, was the president's conversations or anything about the president appearing in intelligence reports? Is that what you're saying?
I have seen intelligence reports that clearly show that the president-elect and his team were, I guess, at least monitored and disseminated out in intelligence in what appears to be raw, or I shouldn't say raw, but intelligence reporting channels. As best as I can say that until I actually get all of the information that we've requested.
Why do you have to go to the White House to brief them?
Please talk to the cameras.
Shouldn't the administration be briefing you?
The administration, I don't think, is aware of this, so I want to make sure that I go over there and tell them what I know. Because it involves them.
Chairman, just to be clear, you said this is not related to a Russia investigation.
It is,
Can you give us some better
the
idea?
information that I have seen has nothing to do with Russia or the Russian investigation. So bluntly put, everything that I was able to view did not involve Russia or any discussions with Russians or any Trump people or other Russians. None of it has to do with Russia. That doesn't mean that doesn't exist, but we don't have it.
Can you give us a broader sense of what it was related to?
Look, a lot of it appears like it was. It looks to me like it was all legally collected, but it was essentially a lot of information on the president-elect and his transition team and what they were doing.
Was it incidental collection or direct collection?
I think from what I've seen, it appears to be incidental collection. Any other questions, guys?
So what was found, just to be clear, it was the material that you have seen so far doesn't make any reference or connection to Russia, or are you saying the incidental investigations themselves more broadly?
Yeah, so this information was legally brought to me by sources who thought that we should know it, and there were no references whatsoever in everything that I read, and it was dozens. Let's leave it at that. Dozens of reports, and there was no mention of Russia.
And that's the Chairman saying that the sources brought that information to you?
That's correct.
Mr. Nunes, while we have
I'm not going to get into the sources or when it arrived, but I wanted to brief the speaker, which is what I did this morning. And obviously, I briefed. I put in calls to the directors. I've spoken to the CI director and the NSA director, and I'm waiting to talk to Director Comey. And I'm going to head to the White House after the votes.
This is a chance for us to ask you what might have motivated the ban or restrictions on electronics on airlines, please. Do you know what's behind that?
Yeah, I'm not going to get to. I just refer you to DHS for that. Okay, I'm sorry.
Does this change? You've said repeatedly previously the president was wrong when he said he was wiretapped at Trump Tower.
Well, I've always said from day one that there wasn't a physical wiretap of Trump Tower. I still don't have any evidence to show that, in fact, at all. But clearly, what I read was clearly significant information about President-elect Trump and his team, and there were additional names that were unmasked, which is why we sent that letter on the 15th.
Is this a response to that letter that you sent on the 15th?
Well, we don't know. It was no, it was not. This was information brought to me by sources, and I'm hoping that NSA, FBI, CIA get me anything else that they have. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, do you plan to make this information that's come to you from the source, do you plan to make any of it available now or in the future?
You mean publicly? Well, it's all classified information. But look, we're hopeful that we're going to get the information that I've seen, plus a lot more information on Friday.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Was this surveillance for a criminal investigation or a
No, it was not. It was not. Has nothing to do with any criminal investigation. This is a normal incidental collection at least from what I was able to read.
So if it's official surveillance, then they have to have a basis for doing surveillance. Isn't that correct?
That's.
I just wonder what kind of surveillance they were doing.
That's correct. No, it was not criminal. It was normal foreign surveillance, is what it looks like to me, but let's wait until we get all the information.
About President Trump, but not necessarily his communications specifically.
As of right now, that's what I've seen, but it's hard to know until we get all the information and we have the time to talk to the appropriate agencies.
That was targeted at foreigners.
You said you're not confident where this incidental collection took place, and you're not confident essentially who is involved in some incidental collection.
No, because all I was able to see were reports on information that was collected.
How can you be confident then that it did not have anything to do with Russia and the Russian question?
Because I read through them and there was no mention of Russia.
Specifically, are we talking about Paul Manafort here in his communications or any other senior level Trump officials?
No. This appears to be all legally collected foreign intelligence under FISA, where there was incidental collection that then ended up in reporting channels, and that was widely disseminated.
Can you say who, which individuals in particular?
Not at this time.
What is your response to this report about Paul Manafort today, showing that he worked a decade ago with a Russian billionaire to help advance Vladimir Putin's interests? Is this going to be part of your committee's investigation?
Well, we're going to move on. I mean, probably next week. I haven't talked to Mr. Schiff yet about the next phase. As you all know, we've asked people to come in on their own or provide us information on their own. And that's clearly happening based on some information is coming into us, and then we'll move into the second stage of the investigation. At that point, we'll discuss who will bring in. It'll likely be through depositions.
This sounds sort of like you're treating it as routine surveillance. I mean, it's incidental, but are you surprised at this discovery today?
Yeah, I mean, I am, because we went through this. I'm actually alarmed by it because we went through this about a year and a half ago as it related to members of Congress. If you may remember, there was a report, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, but then we had to have a whole series of hearings, and then we had to have changes made to how Congress is informed of if members of Congress are picked up in surveillance. And this looks like it's very similar to that. It reminds me of what happened about a year and a half ago. Hold on. Let's somebody else over here. I'm just going to share. I don't know. I mean, look. I've only like I said, I've seen dozens of reports. I don't know if there's more than that. But clearly, I thought it was important enough for me to at least tell all of you, inform the speaker, and then I'm going to go to the White House and at least let them know what I've seen, because I think because I think they need to see it. If they don't have it, they need to see it.
Mr. Chairman, what foreign country was involved in this?
I'm sorry. We've got two questions going at the same time. There's no question. It's official and IC information.
Mr. Chairman,
what you did from members of the intelligence community who are officially communicating to you, or was this?
Yeah, I don't want to get into. I don't want to get into this for the protections of American citizens, as you.